For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
News team, assemble!
Joining us live because if you want to know anything about the Outer Banks, Sam Walker's the dude to fill you in.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Always appreciate talking to you.
Always good stuff with Sam Walker in the Outer Banks.
Now here's Les Nessman and the news.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to OBX Today for Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. I'm Sam Walker. Glad to have you along with us for another edition of the show here on OBX Today Live and the Sam Walker OBX YouTube channel as we get you going on this Wednesday morning. Coming up, a lot to get to. Let's jump right in on it. First off, yesterday, Governor Roy Cooper issued a state of emergency for Dare and Hyde counties. Now, all this does, you hear state of emergency, we get it all the time whenever we have any type of situation where a state of emergency needs to be issued here on the Outer Banks, and people say, they can't sell alcohol and there's curfews. No. All this is a governmental document that opens up resources for local and state government to tap into at different levels. Local governments to be able to tap into state resources, state to be able to tap into federal resources, and do certain activations. This state of emergency is related to our nor'easter last week that shut down Highway 12. And by issuing a state of emergency, that allows North Carolina to access federal funding from the Federal Highway Fund to pay for the cleanup costs associated with our latest nor'easter. And it's mainly to repair the dunes. This will help get federal money to pay for adding sand and more crews, and pays for the overtime and such that was incurred by the NCDOT while they were trying to clear Highway 12. Of course, things have gotten much better down there on Hatteras Island since the nor'easter that hit last week. All the dunes were rebuilt right after it. In fact, you see that video courtesy of the Island Free Press and Rory Kelleher. That's the drive he took through after Highway 12 reopened at S-turns last Tuesday. And, of course, things have dried up considerably there. But they are still trying to get those dunes rebuilt. And, again, that disaster or the state of emergency declaration that lasts up to 30 days is to be able to get into the money that's available from the federal government to help pay for the cleanup, moving all that sand back and getting the dunes rebuilt, possibly bringing some more sand in, which is probably going to be likely to get those dunes rebuilt to protect Highway 12 through the storm season. Of course, that stretch, the S-turns will eventually be bypassed by the Jug Handle Bridge there north of Rodanthe, so that part won't be a problem, but you still got all the areas north of there at the Pea Island Visitor Center, and then on up in the Canal Zone just south of Oregon Inlet, the stretch there at the motels in Buxton, and the north end of Ocracoke Island, where there was a little bit of overwash as well, and also the entrance to Hatteras Village. So that's where that money, that federal money, will be used to help get those dunes rebuilt, pay for the manpower it takes and woman power it takes to keep Highway 12 open. Yesterday, there was movement on the state budget. We'll get to that in a little bit because there are several local angles on that. We talked about it when the budget documents were released on Monday and talked about it on yesterday's show. Well, we've talked about it the last couple of days. And there's a little bit more movement there. But I wanted to bring you, yesterday, we got an announcement from the Dare County Board of Commissioners of a pretty special honor that was bestowed yesterday on someone who was very important to the Outer Banks community for decades, Virginia Tillett. And I'm going to play for you right now. This is the video. This was the presentation was made at the Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting on Monday night. And, of course, courtesy of Dare County's YouTube channel here on OBX Today.
And this is a resolution to rename the Dare County Center as the Virginia Tillett Center. I'd ask the county manager to please read that resolution.
Whereas Virginia Tillett was a professional educator and Outer Banks community leader who served the residents and visitors of Dare County, North Carolina as an elected official for more than 30 years. And whereas Virginia Tillett served in the position of both chair and vice chair on the Dare County Board of Education for 20 years, and in 2002 was elected to the Dare County Board of Commissioners, where she served as a commissioner for 12 years. And whereas Virginia Tillett has been honored as the recipient of a wide variety of awards over the past several decades, including the Dare County Outstanding Citizen of the Year Award and the Outer Banks Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year Award, both of which she received in 2015. And whereas in 2006, Virginia Tillett was honored by the North Carolina Governor Michael Easley, who awarded her the prestigious Order of the Longleaf Pine Award in April of 2021. Virginia Tillett was recognized for her accomplishments and dedication to servant leadership by the North Carolina Black Alliance, who presented her with a 2021 Trailblazer Award. And whereas, as a Dare County Commissioner, Virginia Tillett played an instrumental role in the development of the Dare County Center, a multi-generational facility on Roanoke Island that provides resources, programs, and activities designed to enhance the lives of all Dare County citizens, ranging from youth and adults to seniors and families. And whereas without Virginia Tillett's tireless efforts and her vision for the facility, specifically as a place where individuals of all ages could get together and learn from one another, these individuals would not benefit from the wide array of programs and services it offers to the Dare County community. And whereas renaming the Dare County Center as the Virginia Tillett Center recognizes Virginia Tillett's dedication to the community where she was born and raised, and ensures her lasting legacy as a Dare County trailblazer whose service and leadership has had a profound and positive impact on thousands of Dare County residents over the years. Therefore, be it resolved that the Dare County Board of Commissioners hereby declare that in honor of her life and many significant contributions as a longtime community leader, the Dare County Center will be officially named the Virginia Tillett Center this the 15th day of November 2021.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion on the board by Commissioner House to approve. It has been seconded by the Vice Chair and Commissioner Bateman. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. As a second part of this, Johnny and Michael, will you guys come up and join me? Michael over here and Johnny over here. Maya, his daughter, absolutely. I'm in my 9th year on this board. I've had to make a lot of presentations, do a lot of talks, different places, different things. I don't think I've ever been honored any more from a family to ask me to say a few words at their mother's funeral. When I talked to Johnny and Michael about that, Johnny called me, texted me immediately when the passing of his mother, and of course I was devastated, and I texted him right back. And the very next morning, I was over at the house and took him some of those famous Mike Kelly ham biscuits, and we chit-chatted for a while, and both of them looked at me and said, "Bob, Mother, we would love for you to say a few comments on behalf of the board at the funeral." And I said, "Man, I'd be honored, Johnny, Michael." I thought about what I wanted to say at that funeral. I hope I made you guys proud. Miss Virginia and I, we served 2 years on this board before she went off the board. And we got to know each other really, really well. We're different sides of the aisle. We didn't always agree on every single item. But the one thing that Miss Virginia and I were adamant about was leaving politics off of the board and doing what was in the best interest of our citizens of Dare County. And that I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of that. And we would have some stressful meetings, and we would, I recall having one particular stressful meeting that Miss Virginia and I we would have lone rangers on this item, Michael and Johnny, and we didn't win. But to kind of break the ice after the meeting, and I told this at the funeral, I said, "Miss Virginia," we were walking out the door, I said, "Have you heard the latest about little Johnny?" And I don't mean this little Johnny. I said, "The little Johnny, the one in school." She, "Oh, yeah, Bob, I've heard those." I said, "Well, have you heard the latest one?" She said, No. She said, I said, "Well, the teacher asked them that for an assignment that come back to school the next day and tell them about, anything major that might have happened last week." So little Johnny, he comes to school, and the teacher goes through the class, and she's heard a few of them, and comes little Johnny's turn. Teacher looks at him. She said, "Okay, Johnny." She said, "Anything unusual happened last week?" He said, "Well, teacher, yeah, it sure did. My dad fell in the well." And the teacher said immediately, she said, "Oh, my God, Johnny." She said, "Is he all right?" Little Johnny looked at him and said, "Teach, he must be. He stopped yelling yesterday." So I told that joke to Miss Virginia to kind of break the ice going out the door, and she never forgot that. And every time we'd come to a meeting, she'd always look at me and say, "Bob, you got any more little Johnny jokes lately?" I said, "Well, I'm sure I could come up with a few, Miss Virginia, but anyhow, I have the utmost respect for Miss Virginia. You've heard in this resolution all that she's done for our community. I mean, my God, it's incredible what she's done, and this is the least we could do to recognize her in the community, and that's to rename the Dare County Board of Commissioners agreed unanimously way before tonight that was the proper thing to do. And so I'm very, very proud that the Dare County Board of Commissioners have done this. County manager tells me, Johnny and Michael, that They're working on the lettering right now. They can't get the lettering quick enough for the building. But I want to present both of you the resolution that Bobby read. Michael, one for you. Johnny, one for you. That's the resolution that County Manager read this evening. Our board passed unanimously. And I'm proud of you. Your mother raised two fine young men. And I will never, ever forget the time that we spent on this board together doing what was right in the best interest of Dare County. So God bless y'all.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. Mr. Vice Chairman, Commissioners, Bobby, thank you guys. I mean, this really means a lot to our family. I'm gonna try to keep this together. We had talked about this because that center was, I really loved that thing, and she really wanted to. I mean, I know she's smiling right now. I know she's smiling, but for the county to do this, it means a lot to us. It means a lot to our family. That you can see a lot of them here today.
Absolutely.
But Mr. Chairman, thank you again.
Thank you, John.
We really appreciate all you guys so much.
You bet.
That's all I got about it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, would you like to say a few words?
He said it all, but I would also like to thank everyone also. This is a great honor, and that building was my mom's baby. And for you all to recognize her by naming it after her. And all of y'all know in here how hard she struggled to get that building going and all the roadblocks, but it came to pass. And to be dedicated to her with her name, it's no words that can describe the way we feel. And thank everyone for everything you guys do for the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Did you get some photos? Did you get some photos? Yeah.
Yes, again, that was from Monday's Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting as the resolution passed to name the Dare County Center for Virginia Tillett. That's, if you're not familiar with where that is, as you come into Manio off of 64. That's that first building. You see the smaller building right up along US 64 there at the Dare County Government Complex. It's a community center that opened in 2009. So pretty cool moment there at the Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting on Monday night. We've got more OBX today coming up. Stay right there.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
Our pet of the week for this week is Skippy. This little man has a big personality. Skippy is about 7 years old and has lived in a few foster homes. He connects with people very quickly and absolutely loves his squeaker toys. Skippy enjoys to go for walks, car rides, but mostly being around his people is his favorite pastime. Skippy would prefer to be the only animal in the home at this time. To adopt Skippy or foster one of our other animals, you can come visit us Monday through Saturday at our shelter located in Manteo. This week, join us here at the shelter Thursday, November 18th at 4 p.m. for our volunteer orientation. For more information, visit our website at www.obxspca.org or visit our OBX SPCA Facebook page.
Back here on OBX Today Live on Facebook and YouTube on Lake Atlantic Day. As you can see our live shot there from Hatteras. It's Lake Atlantic. It's just as flat as can be. Same thing at Avon. Same thing off-road Anthe this morning. Jeanette's Pier and Whalebone Junction. Up in Corolla, kind of looking the same. It is just flat, calm today. Looks like it's going to stay that way for the next couple of days anyway. We do have a little front coming through tomorrow night. It's going to bring us some showers and then some cooler weather again. And then back to it. But then early next week, we got a storm system to deal with. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit with the OBX Today Weather Center forecast. More headlines for you now. By the way, happy birthday, Geraldine. I saw your check-in there. And good morning to everybody else that's checking in with us this morning. George from Connecticut and all the rest of the crew here. Lou and Tony and Sonny and Lonnie and Brian all checking in with us here on OBX Today Live this morning on Facebook and YouTube. Potential multifamily housing development in Avon took a step forward at Monday's Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting. Here's the location for that is the old movie theater complex, the multiplex there, next to Ace Hardware in Avon at the Hatteras Island Shopping Plaza. That's where the Food Line is. New development would be located there. The vacant theater, which has been unoccupied for years, will be demolished to make room for the multifamily structure. An amendment had to be passed by the Dare County Board of Commissioners to allow that at that site. There's still a lot of work that has to be done as far as permitting and such before, and even a site plan has to be submitted. So it's going to be a little while. There was a story the Outer Banks Voice had this week that kind of ties into this, or last week rather, that the state has shut down any new connections to the Avon sewage system. There is a central sewer system that serves that shopping center and a lot of Kennekeet Shores, which is right around there, the housing development, Kennekeet Shores. And that could possibly stymie trying to get this development done in Avon. So that is development there. And we'll keep an eye on that. Again, Island Free Press, Joey Chris got a story up explaining what they're planning there. But essentially what this is going to be is worker housing. That's the goal, is to get 20 to 25 units could be used for the businesses that are at the shopping center, such as Food Line, but businesses on Hatteras Island. Another proposal that has now come to the surface, and this is tied into the state budget, and this is something that the county has been talking about for quite some time. We've run a video piece about it, about what the affordable housing options are in Dare County. And one place that's been talked about is a property that the county owns in Bowsertown on Roanoke Island. Dare County Board of Commissioners expected to vote next month on a concept plan for below market and market rate housing. The Outer Banks Voice reporting this morning. Looks like the county may invest $7 to $9 million. But there is another $35 million that is in the state budget that is nearing approval. The state Senate yesterday did approve for the first time. It's first of two required votes on the state budget. They'll vote again today, then send it to the House where they'll vote, and then they'll vote tomorrow again. The House will. That'll finalize it, send it to Governor Cooper. There was some question whether or not Governor Cooper would sign the budget, or would he risk a veto that could possibly get overturned. And Governor Cooper held a press conference yesterday afternoon to discuss just that.
As you know, North Carolina's legislature has been working on a statewide budget for many months, and now it is expected to be on my desk by the end of the week. I and my staff have reviewed it. I will sign this budget because, on balance, the good outweighs the bad. It moves North Carolina forward in important ways, many that are critical to our state's progress as we're emerging from this pandemic. And while I believe that it is a budget of some missed opportunities and misguided policy, it's also a budget that we desperately need at this unique time in the history of our state. North Carolina has been without a comprehensive budget for almost 3 years. While I have a veto that I know would be sustained in the Senate, this is a time when the state must move ahead. Too many important investments in this budget are overdue, particularly with the likelihood that the Republican leadership would respond to a successful veto by walking away from many of the good things that are in it. And right now, we just can't afford that. This budget got many things right. Expanding high-speed internet across the state so that people can access education, telehealth, and work. Funding for our outstanding universities and community colleges, particularly our HBCUs that are educating our workforce. Helping businesses recover from pandemic losses and expanding to create more jobs. Strengthening infrastructure so our growing state has clean, reliable water. The expansion of the Land and Water and Parks and Recreation Trust funds. Funding to help Western North Carolina recover from Tropical Storm Fred. Helping more people get credentials and degrees by including an extension of my Long Leaf Commitment Scholarship Program. Raises and bonuses for teachers and other hard-working state employees. Tax relief for everyday North Carolinians, like the child tax deduction. And there is a lot more.
As Governor Roy Cooper yesterday saying he will sign the budget once it's passed, which will likely happen tomorrow. Signing may take place as early as tomorrow. Could be Friday. Probably going to be Friday, depending on what time the House gets the budget signed and all the stuff gets transferred over to the governor's office. So among the provisions are in that almost $27 billion budget. We talked about the $35 million that would go to Dare County, as that would be set up as a forgivable loan to a private developer for affordable housing. We'll see where that goes. Expect to get more about that once it passes. Dare County, they've been playing the cards right with regards to that, and not really talking about it. But expect to see a lot come out about that as soon as it happens. Another provision there, and I had a little text conversation where Representative Bobby Handig of Powell's Point yesterday regarding that. He did get the $900,000 in the budget. That's been in there since in both sides of the budget, in fact, to pay for the Dare Challenge to get a Outer Banks treatment center, drug treatment center going here in the Outer Banks. Would pay for the building for that, $900,000 in that. There's also money in there for stormwater pumps for Dare County, 8 of them that could be used in various locations to handle stormwater flooding. And then we talked about one provision, and I did get a little clarification from Representative Hannig about the $1 million provision that's in the state budget for the ferry division that would cover lease of a ferry, passenger ferry for next year, if the passenger ferry that the state owns is not ready for service by March 30th. He did say he was assured that it's just going through the Coast Guard approvals and that he's been assured it will be ready in time, that they won't have to tap into that fund. But it is set up as a backup just in case something were to come up. But our understanding is, in conversations with Representative Hannig, with folks down with the ferry division, that the ferry is in their possession, and that they're just trying to get their training done. One of the things that said in that budget provision was they couldn't reduce ferry service at other routes to run the passenger ferry. That tells me it's a personnel issue, but it could be other things. So there's also a huge appropriation in there for Elizabeth City State University. We'll build a new dorm, do a whole renovation of many of their infrastructure, a new dining hall, also launch the flight school, build an overpass, a pedestrian overpass over Weeksville Road and Halstead Boulevard there for the Viking Village Apartments across that 5-lane highway, get those students from having to take that crosswalk, which is a danger to their safety, be able to access the campus much safer. So just a lot of things in there for Northeast North Carolina, and that budget, again, is expected to pass today with the Senate and then go to the House where they'll start voting on it, and then they'll give their final approval for it tomorrow, and then the governor's going to sign it. And then we'll see, obviously we'll get in from, I'm sure with that big appropriation coming to Dare County, I'm sure we're going to see them give us quite a bit of information regarding where that money is going to go for affordable housing in Dare County. It's OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Sam Walker. We've got more for you coming up after this.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
When everybody's healthy in a community, you have a more productive community. We assess all our patients for mental health needs. We make referrals to mental health providers, and then in turn, we can provide free medications, all the mental health medications they need through a grant that we have. With screening and preventive care, adults that are 45 and over, it's recommended that they have some type of colon cancer screening. And we do offer that to any of our patients 45 and over. We also refer all of our female patients to the health department for mammography. We collaborate with many local entities. We work closely with the Outer Banks Hospital and their Center for Healthy Living. We have partnerships with imaging centers where we can help people get affordable MRIs, CTs, specialist care, surgeries, x-rays. We do all our own lab work in-house. And we are focusing on patients with uncontrolled diabetes, working in a partnership also with the Beach Food Pantry to get healthy food choices and really spend time educating those patients about diabetes, the foods, and exercise. So really the sky's the limit, and we will find a way to get you access and make it for a healthier tomorrow.
As you know, North Carolina's legislature has been working.
All right, back on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube. Yesterday it was announced that another interstate will be added to eastern North Carolina. That is going to be pretty big news there. It is this stretch of US 264. That's not what I wanted to see. I didn't want it that far down. Let's see. We'll zoom it in here. There we go. It is going to be the stretch of US 264 that runs from Zebulon, where it interchange with 64 is, and the north side of Greenville, up by the Highway 11 interchange on the north side of Greenville. The stretch, which was turned into a new controlled access highway about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I remember driving it, trying to get to Gamble when 64 wasn't quite finished up here in this stretch. We'd find all different ways trying to get to college faster and get home faster. But now it's going to be designated as Interstate 587. Already the stretch from Zebulon down to 95 was going to carry that designation, and they finalized it yesterday. The federal government did. The interstate highway system finalizing, making 587 go from I-95 to Highway 11 there north of Greenville. It's going to be brought up to interstate standards, or being brought up to interstate standards in the next year, and all the signage will go on it. So that's going to be 587, which will be a spur of Interstate 87, which currently signed out here in Raleigh and out to the outer loop of the Beltline. And then there's signs all the way across 64 and up 17, because eventually this will be Interstate 87 going into northeast North Carolina all the way up to the 464-64 interchange in Chesapeake. There's a plan to make Interstate 87 from Raleigh to connect Raleigh and Norfolk with a true interstate highway. A lot of work has to be done to bring 64 up to interstate standards in a lot of locations, including that stretch from Williamston to Windsor, and then from Windsor over to Edenton, and then from Edenton over to Hertford. And then, so there's a lot of work that's got to be done, possibly with the infrastructure bill that just passed in Congress. That may help speed that up. And I know we've got a couple folks that know, and I've known because I went up there. Interstate 87 also does run up in New York. This will be the second Interstate 87, but it's already signed out here in Raleigh. So that's some interesting development that came about yesterday. A couple of things coming up around the Outer Banks over the next couple of days. Island Farm is going to be hosting its Garden to Hearth event to celebrate the fall season and the Thanksgiving holiday. That's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday the 23rd, Wednesday the 24th from 9 until 3. Visitors will learn various ways that Roanoke Island families prepare for the winter months in the 1850s. Interpreters will be cooking over the hearth, pickle root vegetables, smoked mullet in the smokehouse, make candles, and construct simple grapevine wreaths. And both candle and wreath making are included with the $8 cost of admission for those ages 4 and older. 3 and under get in for free. Island Farm, located on the north end of Roanoke Island, offers a trip back in time to the mid-19th century Outer Banks. Living History site offers daily programs, including visits with the site's Corolla Wild Horses. Now, they do have a couple of the horses there, because the Outer Banks conservationists, of course, that run the Currituck Beach Lighthouse and Island Farm, also a partnership with the Corolla Wild Horse Fund for the couple of the horses that have been taken off the beach and kept at the farm over in the Rescue Farm in Grandy. They also have a couple there at Island Farm on Roanoke Island. All types of cool stuff. They are open Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 3 through the month of November. 1140 North U.S. Highway 64. That's north of Mania on the way out to the North Carolina Aquarium. For info, visit obcinc.org or just go to the Things to Do page at obxtoday.com. Our friends over the Ocracoke Observer got details about the Festival Latino de Ocracoke. Is taking place this weekend on the 19th and 20th on Friday and Saturday. Produced by the island nonprofit Ocracoke Alive, the 4th annual Festival Latino, which has had a 2-year hiatus, is back. It's in partnership with Ocracoke's vibrant Latino community, featuring music, ballet, folklorico dances, incredible food, games, and more. It kicks off with a concert Friday night, 7 to 9, with Angeles Diaz at the Ocracoke Community Center. And then from 11 to 8 on Saturday, the celebration moves over to the Berkeley Barn at Ocracoke's Berkeley Manor. There'll be all types of stuff going on. OcracokeObserver.com has got all the details about it. We've talked about this with their Children and Youth Partnership Champion of Children this week, who is the organizer of the Surf and Turkey 5K. That's coming up next weekend over the Thanksgiving holiday in Hatteras Village. The Surf and Turkey 5K and the Puppy Drum Fun Run are back, and they are going on. Online registration is open through Friday, and the Surf and Turkey 5K begins at 8 a.m., the Puppy Drum Fun Run at 9 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning in Hatteras Village. And for details, head over to Island Free Press. They got details on their islandfreepress.org. That's where you need to go. All right, in sports, we'll get to the weather in a minute because I know there's a lot of folks wondering about that. We did tease that at the top of the show, that we do have a little bit of a stormy pre-Thanksgiving week coming up. We'll get to that in a moment. Sports, Duke wins last night over Gardner-Webb in college basketball, 92-52. Coach Mike Krzyzewski said last weekend's incident left his grandson facing a DWI charge and one of his starting players facing a lesser-related charge. Violated the program standards, said they've handled it internally. Michael Savarino, Krzyzewski's 20-year-old grandson, is a junior reserve guard on the team, was stopped by the Highway Patrol about 1:10 Sunday morning in Elfland up in Orange County. That was just a few hours after Duke had beaten Campbell. He was driving freshman forward Paolo Banchero's Jeep on a rural Orange County road. Admitted to police he'd been drinking and later recorded a .08 blood alcohol content on a breathalyzer. Banchero did start last night. He was charged with aiding and abetting DWI and was released on the site of the traffic stop. It's a ticket. It's a ticket. It was his vehicle. He's letting somebody drive it who blew a .08 or blew a .08 or higher. So he was given that ticket. But Banchero started last night against Gardner-Webb. So Savarino appears to be suspended. So he was not with the team last night in Durham. And Krzyzewski did not specify how long Savarino will not be with the team. UNC, this is a pretty good win for Carolina last night in Charleston. They headed down and played College Charleston. Fell behind by double digits early. Came back and then really put the game in their clutches. Charleston got within a possession several times, but number 18 Carolina with the win last night, 94-83 to go to 3-0. Carolina's got Purdue next. NC State on the road. They're up in Connecticut playing in Uncasville at Mohegan Sun or the Basketball Hall of Fame Showcase. They beat Central Connecticut 79-65 last night. Darian Seabrun had a career-high 24 for State, 9 rebounds, 3 steals. State plays Oklahoma State tonight. So back-to-backer for the Wolfpack up in Connecticut. Carolina Hurricanes with the win last night, 4-2, opening their 6-game road trip with 4-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. Two hottest teams in the league. Carolina opening the season 11-2. Golden Knights are at 8-2 coming into this one. They're on an 8-2 run after starting out 1-4. But Carolina looked pretty good last night. Jumped out to a 2-0 lead and cruised from there. High school sports news. Unfortunately, things did not work out last night for the Mania Redskins soccer team. They lost in the 2A East Regional Championship to Green Central 2-0. The final there. College football playoff rankings out. Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, the top 4. Wake Forest is 10th. NC State is 20th. We're going to step aside one final time and then come back with a look at your OBX Today Weather Center forecast and the details about what we're looking at for Thanksgiving week. Looks like Thanksgiving should be okay. It's going to be Thanksgiving week that's a bit of a mess. And we'll talk about that in just a moment, so stay right there.
For over 15 years, Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated has been a beacon of light, guiding local families through difficult times. Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated proudly provides all families with compassionate choices for professional funeral care at reasonable prices. Get the answers you need 24 hours a day. No answering services, hidden costs, add-on fees, confusing fine print, or those scary-looking contracts. Remember, Gallup Funeral Services owns and operates the only crematory in Dare County, keeping our cremations affordable and convenient. Gallup Memorial Chapel in Bargo, North Carolina is now open and minutes from Moyock and Elizabeth City. From traditional church services and graveside burials to direct cremations and advanced planning, let Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated light the way for your family. Don't be pressured or confused by the other funeral homes. It's always your choice. Choose Gallup Funeral Services Incorporated. Call Courtney at 252-216-8030 to get a plan started today and visit our new website at gallupfuneralservices.com.
All right, back on OBX Today Live here on Facebook and YouTube, and our tropical weather update as we always do, and it is silent. Nothing out there expected over the next 48 hours. There is a little bit of this is left over from frontal boundary down south, off in the Caribbean, that is going to give Florida some showers. There's that frontal boundary that we had go clear us earlier this week. And nothing at all tropical activity expected over the next 48 hours. Looking ahead, here's what we may be dealing with. Oh, there was this one. Yeah, here's what we're dealing with temperature-wise over the next week. This time next week from now through the next week. And looks like we may see some much below normal temperatures in the deep south. We're probably going to be right at normal, just not below normal. There's a storm system that's going to be coming across. Some of this is related to that flooding that's been going on out in the Pacific Northwest right now. Actually, yeah, here is our cold front that's going to come through tomorrow night. After we get up into the 70s today, we're looking at a front coming through tomorrow night, 75 tomorrow. That's going to clear the area tomorrow night, bring us a few showers and drop us back into the 50s. And then the weekend is pretty good. We're going to jump it on out here for this time, Monday and Tuesday. Looks like Sunday, a little frontal boundary, a little trough is going to set up here over us, and the frontal boundary starts to form up out over the Mississippi and Ohio Valley, and then starts moving in. Initial cold front comes through. There's some low pressure with it. That's going to stay up north. That's going to probably keep us from really experiencing any of your typical nor'easter conditions. That's good news. Then next week, or this time next week, by Wednesday, that front's going to be clearing us. But it's going to be pretty nasty up in the northeast on the busiest travel day of the year. That's going to spell issues for New England. So if your travel plans coming in for the to the Outer Banks for the holiday or heading out for the holiday, may get a little travel issues up in the northeast for headed into Thanksgiving next Wednesday, but we're going to be fine. We're not going to be dealing with some winds, but it looks like it's going to be more of a northwesterly than a northeasterly, so an offshore wind. Well, I mean, northwest, that'd keep us, and then we get into Thanksgiving, it's going to be sunny in the 50s with a little breezy, but nothing like what we had 2 weeks ago, or last week with the nor'easter. We're not looking at a nor'easter for us. It looks like it's going to be pretty much just a moving through storm system, and we shouldn't have any trouble from it going into Thanksgiving week or Thanksgiving weekend. Just starting out Thanksgiving week, kind of windy and rainy. All right, today's forecast, it's nice. Sunny skies, high around 70. The south winds of 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, we're looking at mostly clear skies, a low 58. A little breezy out of the southwest at 10 to 15. Tomorrow, sunny, high 73, southwest winds 10 to 15, gust up to 20. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with some showers. That first front comes through, a low 51. Friday, maybe an early shower, otherwise sunny, and 54. So about a 20-degree shift in our temperatures between Thursday and Friday. It's going to be breezy as well with a pretty honking north wind at 20 to 30 miles an hour. Clear and breezy Friday night, a low 44. Sunny Saturday and 59. Back to 66, partly sunny Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, showers with those fronts coming through. Highs in mid-60s Monday, low 50s on Tuesday. Coastal marine forecast today, as you can see out there, it's Lake Atlantic with seas around 2 feet, 1 foot waves or less in the sounds. Water temperatures 60 to 65. Next tide change at Oregon Inlet's a low tide at 12:57 this afternoon. Sunset tonight at 4:53. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:41. We do have a full moon coming up, as Merman Dan points out. I believe we have a lunar eclipse too, Dan, don't we? So we'll get some details about that up at obxtoday.com later on about what we might see as far as that goes. But we definitely got the full moon coming through for this weekend. Currently outside the studios in Uptown Nags Head, we've got bright sunshine and 59 degrees. And that's going to wrap it up for OBX Today Live here on the Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us again on this Wednesday morning. Have yourself a great day. We'll be back with you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great day, everybody. See ya.
simple binary code transmitted by carrier wave signal. Radio.
Radio?